For most of the year, Topeka, Kansas is pretty laid back. It's cattle, corn, quiet. But 3 days each May, NHRA shakes up the pasture. From the capital of the 34th state, we're at Heartland Park, Topeka, and today, it's a Lucas Oil drag racing thing. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, welcomes you to a very windy day today at Heartland Park, Topeka. The Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series calls home the O'Reilly Auto Parts Summer Nationals. Now, summer technically still more than a month away, but fans are enjoying some hot racing action on a pretty warm day here in Topeka as we welcome you, the television viewer at home, to Heartland Park for a great drag race. Alongside of Bob Fry, I am Dave Reef. And Bob, I tell you what, it seems like it's been a year and a half since we've done one of these, but we're back to doing Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series event, and we got a great field today.
We do, and people often talk about where the next great drivers are coming from in the sport of drag racing. All you have to do is look at both the Alcohol Dragster and the Alcohol Funny Car field here this weekend. In the Alcohol Funny Car field, Alexis DeJoria, Chris Foster, Sean O'Bannon, some of the great young up-and-coming stars in this class. And, of course, the veterans are still there, the Gasparellas, the Gordons, the Jay Paynes. Over on the flip side, in the dragster category, the two Force girls and a new rising star, Kristen Wootton. So you're going to get to see the melding and the merging of the two, the great veterans and the hungry young kids here this weekend.
In fact, we're going to introduce you to one of those new faces coming up in just a moment. But right now, we're going to show you how we're racked and stacked here for round number 2 in Top Alcohol Dragster. We're going to start with the #1 qualifier, Mark Niver. Hey, that doesn't happen very often. But for the third time, here he's taking on Chase Copeland.
Yeah, Mark Niver loves this racetrack. Came here a couple of years ago, went away with the win. Very solid performance in every round here this weekend.
Here is Kristen Wootton. We just talked about her taking on Randy Meyer. That's a championship winning car from not so long ago. Meyer would seem to have the edge here, but no, not in this race.
Now, Randy's car just never got cranked up here. And Kristen, who won a division race at Dallas in her first start, comes here going into the second round. Very impressive performance for that young lady.
You say you like your races a little closer. We'll check out the #5 qualifier, Jim Whiteley. The 10th qualifier, Cody Perkins. This one close.
Only the second time in his career that somebody beat Cody Perkins off the starting line. Jim Whiteley did it. Look at the numbers. 5:49.3 beats a 5:49.2. And Jim Whiteley, who, as we continue to say, one of the hottest drivers in the class, look at the increments all the way down the racetrack. That whole shot made the difference.
And with that, Jim Whiteley will move into round number 2, where he will pick his lane coming up against Brittany Force. You see that on the bottom half here as Mark Niver takes the bye heading into the semifinals. And on the other side of the ladder, Dwayne Shields will pick his lane over Mike Manners. Then it's the all-ladies matchup, Courtney Force and Kristen Wootton. And speaking of Kristen Wootton, let's meet her. She's standing by right now with a third member of our crew, John Kernan.
Well, Dave, Kristen is new to the Alcohol Dragster class this year. Already, she has a divisional win. She has her first round win now at a national event. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved, because this is your first car, right?
It is my first car. I'm from Magnolia. We started out racing with my husband. He's been drag racing since he was younger, and I've always helped him on his car. And I've bugged him for years to just let me drive, and finally he gave me the opportunity and gave me a Christmas present that every girl, that is in drag racing would love to have. And I learned how to drive off of an email that Joe Munden sent me. He sent me all the details on what to do on the burnout, and I sat in our recliner in our living room and went through all the stages 100 times before we went to go do my licensing runs.
And it all has worked out, and she's moving on into the second round where she'll take on Courtney Force. Welcome back to Heartland Park, Topeka, Kansas. Alcohol Dragster, second round. Courtney Force against Kristen Wootton coming up. But right now we're at the far end with Clint Thompson, who took out Doug Gordon, the #1 qualifier. And Clint, you climbed out and you said, I hate to beat him.
Well, Doug and I are really good friends. I mean, the Gordons are great people. We're pitted right next to each other. We love them guys, but we love to race them too, and we love to beat them. And the car's running great. We struggled a little bit early this weekend. We had to change motors after the second qualifier. My guys, my wife, they're all doing a great job. Want to give a shout out to Richard's Diesel out there in Idaho Falls, Idaho, for letting my man Ross come out here and race. That's his boss, so thanks, Richard. And to all the people at Cascade Auto Group back at my business at home, couldn't do it without them. And we're missing my brother this weekend. He's our normal clutch guy. He wasn't able to come, so Tyler, we wish you were here, buddy, and we're going to do our best for you. Woo, on to the next round.
I think he said it all right there.
Funny Car Summer, a la Mike Dunn's famous movie. That's what he's calling this summer's campaign. You want to look at the future of not only the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, perhaps the Full Throttle and Beyond, Top Alcohol Dragster Beyond. Kristen Wootton is a young lady, 32 years old. Courtney Force on the other side, 21. These are the faces we'll be looking at in the future.
Two solid race cars right here. Oh, wow, Kristen almost got it across the center line. A little inexperience there. I mean, she stayed with it, but Courtney Force is going to the next round. Did not think a 552 would be good enough to win that pair.
Looks like both of them got a little Bob Fry term, icky baluki. I've heard you use that many times.
No, you've never heard me use that. No,
never?
Not in my lifetime, no, sir.
All right. Now you see Courtney coming out the gate. She did have to pedal it. Kristen did press the center line. Both drivers did a great job. Made a pretty competitive race out of this.
Yeah, Kristen, that was a nice save. I got to tell you, it comes out of the start line. See it carry that front end and everything. The wheels, look at them when they come back down. Wow. Front wheels were sideways coming back down, and she did a good job to stay with it. It's one of those learning processes. You got to chalk it up. I mean, she did a good job not to take it over the center line. Maybe should have backed off it a little bit. John back at the starting line. Jerry Darian there, the kingmaker in the alcohol dragster class, especially those A-fuel teams. And Courtney's going on. We're going to take a look at the numbers all the way down the racetrack right here. And Courtney Force, the advantage out of the starting gate. Top end of the racetrack, 552. It's good enough to get the win. You don't apologize for the win. You don't make excuses for a loss.